Hey guys, what's up? This is J.K. Whited with the Baseball Rebellion, and first of all, let me say thank you so much for signing up with us, and for this one-time evaluation, which means I'll be doing this one time for you guys, giving you a general assessment of your swing, comparing you to a comparable player, same age group, and things like that, and talking a little bit about his swing and how it compares to yours and why he does some things I think you could benefit from learning how to do. And you're going to get a drill following this video that is a one-time drill to help start you on the right path to changing some of these things. But let me know if you have any questions at the end, and here we go. So we got the one swing here, which is, obviously one swing doesn't necessarily tell the whole story. A group of swings usually is a little bit more of a better indicator, so I can kind of pick and choose some things that I see happen most often. However, this is what we got, and there's some things to talk about for sure. So the first thing that I notice is, there isn't anything really standing out necessarily in your stance. You have an open stance, tall stance, totally cool. I'm not a big believer in everybody has to have the same stance. As you can see in Major League games, everybody's a little bit different. It's really how you move athletically out of it, and you do a pretty good job of starting. So you bring that front foot in, start to kind of load back a little bit. You don't really go back too much. You just kind of turn back in to get straight, which is fine. You're going to see the example over here have a pretty aggressive backward move with the leg kick before he really commences going forward in his stride. That, again, that's kind of personal. I like usually something back to kind of get me going, kind of like a swing. I'm not going to just go forward. I want to go back a little bit, but there are people that have success with this. A little toe tap there, which is cool, and really a timing mechanism for you. I don't know if you're hitting off a machine here or a coach or whatever, but really at this point you start to go forward. So I like the fact that you want to move forward, striding forward and moving, and your whole body moving is a really good thing. Your head will move here some, and that's okay. The thing that jumps out at me is when we talk about creating power in a swing, where does it come from, right? That's always a question. Well, a lot of people talk about the hands and the legs and things like that, and really the answer is really how you use your hips and your shoulders, okay, and how you kind of stretch them apart and away from each other right before you go to swing, and really the swing starts with your hips. So as you start to go down to the ground, okay, there's your foot getting right at the ground, or right there, okay, you start to open up your hips, which is good. You can see your hips starting to turn towards the fence over there to your left, which is nice. The problem is that at the same time, your hands and your back shoulder and everything are moving with it instead of against it or away. So what I mean by against or away is that as the hips rotate open that way, your back elbow should be pulling more back that way at the same time. You have a little bit of it, but not enough that I think you should be getting, and therefore getting more speed in the bat, and then therefore getting more power when you hit the ball. So you're going to see in the example here, as he starts to go forward, right, he continues to pull that back elbow back, so when he lands and that foot starts to open up, when his hips start to open up, he hasn't quite gotten as far along in the swing as you. So there's his foot on the ground, and you can see the bat and his back elbow is still behind his shoulder. Now, the margins are very small, don't get me wrong. It's not like his elbow is like super, super far back, but that's really all the difference it takes to really create that speed in our swing. So you're going to see, as you can kind of see them happening together. As you land, as your foot's hitting the ground, your hands and everything are kind of moving, so there isn't a lot of separation, and basically think of a rubber band stretching. Like if I don't pull the ends of the rubber band apart from each other, then there's no snap in it, right? So that's kind of what's happening in your swing. And then because of that, you start to kind of come across your body with the bat, and there's a lot of effort out in front. So there's a lot of effort from the time the bat passes you to where you hit the ball. And that's really not where effort in our swing should be coming from. The effort in our swing should be coming from back here. There's a little bit of work back there, but for the most part, you're really trying to do most of your effort and most of your power creation kind of out there in front. And this one you square up out in front of you, and that's really the biggest thing. Now, I do like that your back foot moves. You can see your back foot move there a little bit. That's actually a really good thing. Your head and chest a little bit forward. So what I mean is, as you turn, your head and chest kind of ride forward a little bit. Now, it's tough to see exactly from this behind you angle. What I like to see is, once we kind of separate his hips and shoulders away from each other, and as his hips start to open up and his foot hits the ground, you're going to see him really keep his head behind the ball as far as he can. And what that does is it allows space between him and the ball, so that he can create all that bat speed back here, okay? down behind him so he can rotate the bat, as you can see, rotate the bat back up into contact. So he's really trying to take the barrel and turn it back here behind him and then let it go up. So all the work is back here. So once the bat gets to like right about here, he's just letting it go now at this point. He's not really doing anything to make it fast anymore. He's just keeping his head back and chest back. Then you can see his back foot moves as well, right? So you can see that happening pretty clearly back there, okay? But, like I said, his head doesn't move. So his head is in the same spot there when he lands or right after, like right here. And you can see it stays back there through the course of his turn through contact, and he releases the bat upward and outward and has like a really good finish right here. You can see that really aggressive angle from the back of his neck down to his front foot. He's got this back foot here really high, and you can see the bat releasing upward towards kind of that left center gap, and that's kind of what we should be shooting for. As an aggressive hitter, obviously we want to pull the ball more, and you do that here. It looks like pretty good. Decent finish right here. You have a two-handed finish, which is cool. Again, just you got some things going on. Now, the one thing I would also kind of mention to you is, what are your intentions? Like this swing that I watched, I only saw one, but it didn't look as if you were really trying to hit the ball as hard as you can. I can generally tell when guys look like they're trying to hit the ball harder than they ever have, and every swing you take matters, okay? So if you take a round of 50% effort swings, well, your body starts to remember that. If you take a round of 5 where every swing you try to take is the fastest and most hardest ball you've ever hit, your body will remember that. And so when you go to the game and you don't have time to think about your swing, all you're looking at is the pitch and things like that, and pitcher's timing, then you want your body to react a certain way, and it's going to react the way it remembers most. So the other thing I would, not only the mechanical part of what I mentioned here, but also the mental part of every time you step in the batter's box, whether obviously it's a game, but practice as well, you want to go as fast as you possibly can, try and hit the ball as hard as you possibly can. And if you make mistakes doing that, that's fine. Learn to fix those mistakes while you go fast. It's kind of like a race car driver. I always say, training to drive that race car and steer it properly at 30 miles an hour doesn't do you any good. You have to go 200 like the rest of the drivers and learn how to steer the car at those speeds. So push yourself to go a little faster, try to hit the ball a little harder. But anyway, that's pretty much, those are the biggest things, and those are some pretty big things, because without that bat speed back here, without that ability to make the bat fast before you hit the ball, obviously you're not going to hit it as hard. I mean, you look like you do a decent job here. I just think there's a lot more power that you're not getting from the couple of those moves that we talked about, especially the separation move. So as your hips start to open up, I like to see that elbow still pulling back this way, and it never really does. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I know it was kind of quick, but those are really the biggest things, and they're pretty big things with that separation and head position. So you're going to get a drill today that really teaches you to get into that back elbow pullback, opening the front hip and leg like you see my man here, and with the head back position. It's really kind of a staple first move that we teach, because without that preparation to make the bat fast and swing up and those types of things, there really is no need for a conversation about how to do it once you're there, because you have to get there first, if that makes sense. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, this is a one-time only. Let me know if you have any questions about our program on a whole. If you want to get in on a month-to-month basis, that'd be awesome. But best of luck to you, and hope everything works out. Hope you have a great season, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks a lot.